But I think so many of us become so detached from our gut and our intuition at such a young age. Again, no one's fault, but now we're understanding to like cultivate and express emotion and like talk through things and help understand. Welcome to the Multiple Truths podcast. We're your hosts, Holly
and Brittany. This is a space where we can come together healing in community, where we share our self-love journeys, insights, and wisdom.
A space with no hierarchy or judgment, fostering love, compassion, and respect, and where we honor our differences. With open minds and hearts, everyone's truth is welcome here. We are in this together. Let's dive into the episode.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Multiple Truths podcast. If you're watching, you can see that we have the two of us here.
Yes.
Yay!
We're back together.
Yay! I always love these episodes, as
Me too.
They always make me so excited. Holly's in town.
Yeah, I just got to Vancouver yesterday.
Yeah.
We had a slow morning. We were like, okay, we'll like be productive. We're going to film a decent amount of episodes, but you know, it's later in the day because I feel like we've just been catching up and chatting and it's been so nice. It's like fall in Vancouver. It's so beautiful here. I'm just like blown away. I live in San Francisco, so it feels like fall all year round, but the leaves don't really change there. Like Vancouver is just so beautiful. Like all of the leaves the weather, it's just like so cozy, and her little outdoor space is just so nice.
Yeah,
I love it.
I feel so lucky. Like, whoa, look at all those birds. Oh my God, there's like a huge flock of crows. There must be like an eagle or a hawk they're chasing, because that only ever happens when there's... And I've been seeing so many hawks lately.
I saw hawks too when I was in San Francisco, a couple of them.
And even like driving from the airport yesterday, we saw a few like in the sky on the way here. But yeah, Holly's in town, obviously for this, for work, for business, but also to celebrate my birthday.
Yes. On Saturday. This will come out like in a couple weeks, but your actual birthday, say the date for people.
Or this one is not going to come. Yeah, this will come out pretty soon.
Yeah.
I mean, after my birthday, but yeah. Anyways, not that it's about that, but it's nice to like have you here for my birthday.
I know. I'm excited to celebrate. Yes. And last night, has anyone watched Practical Magic? We watched Practical Magic last night because I had never heard about it. And I had heard it, like two of my friends were bringing it up like this year. And I was like, that's so crazy. I've never heard of Practical Magic. And now two people in my life are talking about it. I'm like, I feel like I need to watch this. And it's just such a cute Halloween movie. Like, I love fall. I love Halloween. I love Halloween movies. I'm like, how have I never heard of Practical Magic? And so I was like, Brittany, I feel like we need to watch this when I'm in town. So we watched that last night, and it's just like so freaking cute. I love that movie so much.
It was like a sweet little like spooky kind of like witchy vibe. Yeah, I really liked it. I'd never heard of it either before. Like, yeah, interesting, but it was nice for spooky season. And
I love Sandra Bullock. I don't know if I pronounce her last name right. Sandra Bullock. Bullock. I don't know.
Don't ask
but
me.
She's gorgeous in the movie. They're so young. Her and Nicole Kidman are so young, and I love Nicole Kidman now. She's in so much, and it's just so cute seeing them so young. I don't know how I never saw that. And I guess they're coming out with the second one too now. Like, that was shot years ago, and now they're coming out with the second one. Yeah, so I wonder if I wonder if it's going to be those two reshooting, or if it's going to be like new cast, you know? I don't know. It's just like such a cute movie, along with like Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, all
of those fun. All those ones. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, with all of that said,
just a little catch up.
Yeah, we are gonna dive into today's topic. I know that I know Holly and I are both really excited to dive into this. We're kind of gonna talk about the body, the importance of the body, and also the importance of being rooted and grounded and healing the body in order to live this experience. I know that might sound weird. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty, but just to kind of start it off, I really just want to talk about how beautiful the body is, and how our body is a gift. Our body is a gift. We are not our bodies. We are a beautiful soul that's bigger than our bodies, and we've been given the gift of our body to experience this human 3D reality. Without the body, we wouldn't have the ability to experience this reality. And we chose to come here. We chose to be human. We chose to experience this. And we've been given the gift of our body to experience that. And our body is this beautiful vessel that is meant to taste, touch, feel, create, all of the things that we have the ability to do here on earth. And we have forgotten how important the body is and how much of a gift the body really is. A lot of people are actually so disassociated from the body. A lot of people, they don't really realize how crucial the body is and how crucial it is in the healing journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And something I want to touch on too, because for those of you that aren't listening, that may not be as spiritual, because you said the 3D world, you know, I never even like heard of 3D. I know there's 5D, 3D, but I never really like understood what that was. So people that aren't familiar, like 3D means like here on earth. You know how we're like, if you're spiritual or believe in God's source, whatever it may be, it's like we are spiritual beings, and that's apparently like the 5D. And then, right?
Well, if I'm being honest, like that's not even what I mean when I say 3D. Like to me, 3D is like, this is like like you could draw in 2D. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean like this 3D, like
physical world.
Like I don't mean it, because I don't even like using the term 5D, if I'm being honest.
Well, and when it comes to 3D, when I'm talking to people, just because like that's like a spiritual term,
it is,
I feel.
Yes,
so like
right,
for people that don't understand what 3D, it's like it's this physical world. Because when I heard that, I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? You know? So I know for some people that are listening that are not spiritual or like know about that, you may have some questions, you know? So like, because I hear that term a lot and I'm like, what is that? Now I know what it means, but I know it's like the physical world. Like we came here, we're human, having this physical experience here on earth in these bodies, and we chose to come down here to be in this physical world in these physical bodies too.
No, 100%. And like the most spiritual thing you can do here on earth is live this experience, be human, live this experience through our bodies. And I know some people who are very spiritual, sometimes it can get really easy to get wrapped up in spirituality, and people use it to disassociate from their body even more, kind of like an escape, the same way people will turn to alcohol or substances to escape, because it is hard. It is hard here. It's not easy here. And the most spiritual thing you can do is be human. And the key to amplifying your spirituality is through the body, through this human experience.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm excited to talk about this, because this is actually what I'm like learning and going through right now. And I feel like you are too. Like we are both getting back in our bodies. Like, and that's why it feels so important to talk about, because I was dissociated from my bodies for years. Like I had an eating disorder, and all of my work that I do is like healing your relationship with yourself, your body, and food, because they are so deeply connected. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your body, your relationship with food, it's all sort of like a reflection of one another. And I'm realizing, whoa, I've been onto something, because we are supposed to heal through our bodies. Our bodies are the most integral part of the healing journey.
It has to be through the body.
Yes, but so many of us are dissociated because, and societal pressures specifically for women of like needing to look a certain way in order to be worthy of love. There's so many eating disorders, disordered eating patterns, so much hate for the body. It's like we've kind of been conditioned and learned to be really hard about our bodies, like such negative self-talk around our bodies. And also what's coming to mind, which I can't really speak to this, but I have a best friend, like one of my really close guy friends is gay. And even in the gay community around, like there's a specific space around like really needing to look a certain way, like such an emphasis on what we look like, but not necessarily from a place of love. It's actually from a place of hate. So it's like that needing of rewiring to create that healthy relationship with the body. Then as you learn how to love yourself, learn how to love your body, the healing is that we have to like feel through the body. We have to feel through the body. And that's where it comes like,
because the body, I was just gonna say, the body holds everything, right? Like that book, Body Knows the Score, I think is what it's called.
Body keeps the score.
Body keeps the score. Like our bodies hold so much. Trauma is passed down. We hold it in our body. So we can't just heal in the 5D, quote unquote 5D. it, like you said, it needs to be brought through the body. It needs to be released through the body. And going back to what you were saying with the eating disorders, you and I, we've done a whole episode on that before. So if maybe you're new here and you've dealt with anything, you might want to listen to our episode on eating disorders. We both talk about our experience with that. So we won't get too into depth about that specifically, but we were talking about this last night, how all consuming it is when you're so focused on the body that it doesn't allow you to reach your full potential when you're so consumed by that, you know, and whatever it may be. You might be consumed by other things as well, but the body, I think not only women, but a lot of men as well are so consumed by how they look because we base our worth on our physical appearance.
This has been happening for years and years and years. Like diet culture, all of that stemmed from our grandparents or great grandparents. Like it's been all consuming to focus on what we look like. Yeah. And it's like getting caught up in the appearance, but not actually like loving and appreciating the body for what it does, because your body is like a temple, a vessel. It's sacred. But we have like, I know for me, I was like abusing my body for years and like hating it. And I look in the mirror and pick myself apart. And it wasn't until I started healing that relationship, learning how to love myself, that it was like starting to really appreciate, holy shit, my body has been protecting me this whole time.
Yes. It's been protecting you and giving you the ability to experience this amazing reality that we're in. This reality, this human experience is going to go by like that. It is going to go by like that. And you don't want to get wrapped up in the mind games. You don't want to get wrapped up in the ego too much, because if you do, you're not going to give yourself the ability to experience this reality. And we came here to experience this, but going back to the healing, going back to, you know, the body holds all of it. It's why there's so much sickness in the world too, because we haven't been taught how to feel through the body. A lot of people don't know how. We're also shamed for feeling. You know, when we're angry, we're made to feel like, go to your room, you know, like it's not good to feel anger, or
it's a weakness.
It's a weakness. Yeah, like big girls don't cry, or boys don't cry. We're not, we don't feel safe to feel, but as a result of that, our bodies are just taking on more and more and more, and really it's blocking us more and more and more from our soul. Our soul is bigger than us. Our soul communicates with us through our vessel, and if our vessel is not clear, we are not going to be clear on hearing the voice of our soul, because it's so built up. It's like gutters. Think of gutters. If the gutters are packed with gunk, nothing is going to be able to get through, or a little bit is going to be able to get through. We need to clean our vessel. We need to feel, and we do that through feeling and allowing our body to feel and release. And when we are able to do that, then our body, our vessel is clear, and we then can listen to our soul and really enjoy this beautiful reality that we came here to experience. But we don't know, a lot of people don't know how.
Yeah. Two things I want to touch on real fast. Okay, so first, that the whole experience is beautiful. Yes, absolutely. But I also want to validate, life here is really fucking hard. It's really hard. Like, this human experience is really hard. Yes. So and it sounds like it's easy to like say these things, but actually day to day life is really hard. And sometimes like we do turn to food, we do turn to self-sabotaging ways, like all of that, because life is really hard, and we need to like deal with it.
It's not meant to be.
It's meant to. Life is not meant to be hard. What do you mean?
I think, okay, you're right. Life is very hard, especially the earth we live in. The earth that we live in now, it's dark. It's really hard, but we've lost. Where a lot of people are lost. I believe that it is supposed to be hard.
Stuck in the darkness.
Yeah, we're stuck. It is supposed to be hard. We are supposed to feel, and we're supposed to go. Yeah, we're supposed to learn lessons, but it's not supposed to be this hard. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we're meant, like, we should be taught how to feel and everything, so that we know how to go through those experiences to feel. But it's like the gutters they're stuck. We haven't been taught how to clear it out. Therefore, it's just compacted within us, and it makes this experience harder than what it should be.
Yes, because I feel like when you do go on the healing journey and you do start to express and feel through the body, you do get like the glimpses of the beautiful. You lean on your healthy coping mechanisms. You learn how to feel. It's like a complete rewiring, and I feel like it does get easier. Yes. But something I want to talk about too is, because I feel like, specifically, I feel like if you are called to this type of podcast, it's like, I feel like we are learning the body is the integral part to healing.
Yes.
Because we are here to break those toxic generational cycles. If you are being called to the healing journey, healing is being talked about now more than ever. It's because it has to stop. Shifts have to be made. And we are understanding that it's actually a great strength and courage to feel your emotions. Like, we're learning how to feel our emotions. We're learning how to heal through the body and feel through the body. But I don't feel like this is like other like teachings have talked about this, but I think right now we're really integrating it. Like,
and
there's
understanding it more.
Yes, because I think like this is something that our children, we're going to teach them, no, it's safe to feel your emotions, so it doesn't get stuck in the body. Because our generation, we weren't taught it's safe to feel emotions. It's a weakness to cry. Go to your room if you're angry. Same with our parents. It's the same thing. It's like this weakness to cry, suppress, repress. But we're learning that causing so much sickness, so much illness in the world. And we're learning that most people like hate themselves, you know, or like there's mental illness all over the place, and it has to stop. And I feel like if you feel like you're here to break generational cycles, generational patterns, it's through the physical body. It's feeling what your ancestors were never able to feel when they were here, and releasing that weight from your physical body. That's the only way you heal, because you can't talk your way through healing.
No.
You can talk. That's why I think talk therapy has its time and place. I genuinely do. I know it to save people's lives. But you cannot talk your way out of trauma. It has to be felt through the body. You can be going to therapy and talking about the same thing over and over and over. It has to be felt. You have to feel, you have to cry, you have to scream, you have to yell. Like, it has to be released through the physical body.
Yes. And I think on that,
I'm like shaking. I'm so passionate about this.
It's good. Like, yes. A lot of people ask me, because, you know, we talk about listen to your soul, right? Follow your soul. And a lot of people are like, how do you follow your soul? How do you listen to your heart? And the key to that is healing, feeling through the body to clear the vessel so that you can listen. But a lot of people are, you know, stuck, like what we were just talking about, because we haven't been taught. So a lot of people are living life in the mind, and they're stuck
mental illness
in the mind. They're stuck there. It's like a prison, and it's this disconnect from the heart, and all that's doing is it's like perpetuating more of this pain. And it's like, it's not just like an easy fix. Like, okay, I'm just going to like listen to the heart and boom, like I listen to the heart. It doesn't work that way. It's feeling, it all goes back to feeling through the body to release so that you can clear your vessel to listen to your heart.
Yeah. 'Cause I want to say, if you've experienced trauma, which all of us have in some sort of capacity, the body can feel really unsafe to be in, and like you actually can't listen to its cues properly because you're living in a dysregulated state. There's this saying of, is it my intuition or is it anxiety? If you don't have that trust in your body, it's going to send you mixed signals, and you're not going to be able to differentiate.
Survival mode.
Like, and it's not your fault. You know, we all have experienced things, but that's where it's like really needing to go to like EMDR therapy or some sort of somatic therapy or plant medicine if you feel called to plant medicine, because that helps you tap into your emotions and feel through the body. So when you release through the body and start to create that safety within the body, then you can learn the voice of the intuition and the ego. Because like a lot of people, myself included, have been so dissociated. I had such distrust. And something I want to talk about, which is interesting. I just listened to this on a podcast. So this woman was saying she had a really good gut instinct when she was younger, but she intuitively, like her parents had a really tumultuous relationship. She would feel that there was tension when she was younger, when they were fighting. She would ask her mom, like, is everything okay? Her mom would say, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine, sweetie. So that made her start second guessing her gut instinct when she was at such a young age. It's like, you not trusting, and then they did it from a loving place of not trying to make her feel like your parents want you to think everything's okay, like you're not in danger. But I feel like something I'm learning is like, for parents in that sense of like, me and dad are fighting, but everything is going to be okay. So she can the kids can trust their guts.
And another thing too, like whether it's the parents fighting or maybe just the mom that had a hard day or the dad that had a hard day, I think like, because I know my parents, for example, and I know they did everything out of love. I never never really saw them express emotion or anything like that. It was always behind closed doors. Like they never let us see when they were fighting. They never would see if they were going through hard things individually. I think parents, it's okay to let your kids see you cry. It's okay. And I'm not telling you to lean on your kids. Oh, I need you to console me and comfort me, because that's different. But it's okay to show them the emotion. Honey, I'm going to be okay. I just need to feel this so that I could let it go. And, there's a balance to it, obviously. Like, you're not depending on your child for, because that's toxic as well. But I think a lot of parents, like, want to shield. It's because they want to protect their kids, right? They don't want their kids to feel that pain or to see them in that state. But kids are little psychic, energetic feelers. Like they feel it. You literally can't hide it from them.
Yeah. And I think when you cultivate that, it helps build, I mean, I could only imagine it would help build that trust within themselves and their own gut instincts. But I think so many of us become so detached from our gut and our intuition at such a young age. Again, no one's fault, but now we're understanding to like cultivate and express emotion and like talk through things and help understand, like, if mom and dad are fighting, like we are fighting, and but it's going to be okay, or whatever, like actually explaining what is going on, talking to kids almost as like they're adult, like leaving out specific things. But I think that helps. I don't know. We need to like cultivate the intuition and the guts at such a young age, the gut instinct at such a young age. Yeah. Cause I think there's a big piece of like, not being able to trust yourself, trust your body. But getting, once you like, I don't know, it gets cut off at such a young age, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too. And one thing that's coming to mind, like, I know I get this question a lot. How do I start, Brittany? Like, how do you tap into your emotion like that? Like, I know my mom asks me this. She's like, I want to, like, I want to release. I don't know what to do though. How do I get there? So I feel like that's something that, maybe we should talk about a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people just don't know where to start,
Yeah, because oftentimes it doesn't feel safe to show emotion, especially if that wasn't cultivated when you were young. And we all have these protector parts. So even if there's a part of you that feels emotion and then instantly it stops, it's like a protector comes online and is like, nope, we're good. Yeah. But it's like, what helps me specifically, like, because I feel when my protector comes up, it's like, nope, we're not going to cry. We're going to hold this in. Yeah. When I feel that, then I just sit and I breathe, hand on my heart, hand on my belly. I do some deep breathing to create that safety in my nervous system. And I'm like, it's safe. We're safe. It's safe to let this out. It's safe to cry. And like, that's something where it's like really like coaching yourself through it, because it's the ego or a protector part coming in because it doesn't feel safe. But oftentimes it just needs that reassurance of like, no, it's
You're
safe.
Okay. Yeah. And it's very similar for me. Like, it's often, you talk about inner child healing all the time. It's often the younger part of you that needs to know that it is safe. And once you give that part of you permission, that's when, the release can happen. But I do the same thing. Like, whenever something comes up, it's like, now things come up a lot more, I've done a lot of work. So for me, before, it's like nothing would ever come up. It's like, how do I even get it to come up to begin with? How do I start this? Do you know what I'm saying? Because some people are so deeply protected that it's like, it doesn't really come up for them at all. One thing that really helped me is just really looking at your triggers, getting curious, journaling, really reflecting on your past and difficult things that maybe you've gone through in your past, because time is not actually linear the way we're experiencing it. Quantum physics can explain this. I can't, so I'm going to explain it how I can, but time is actually all happening at the same time. So the younger part of you is actually still alive. So if you went through something difficult in the past, whenever that might have been, and you weren't given the opportunity to feel and release, that younger part of you still needs to feel and release. So by going back and reflecting on those harder moments, by journaling or whatever, it might allow you for those things to come up. And when you feel it come up, I know for me, this numbness would come over me. Like, I would get numb, and I wouldn't want to like go there. But it's doing what you just said. It's like, okay, in those moments when I do feel it come up, or just in the day-to-day now, when anything starts to come up, I like to self-soothe. I'll literally like rub my chest, and that's like really helps me. And I talk to myself just like you did as well, like it's okay. And I give myself the permission. And then it's like once I give myself the permission, it's like blah, 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 like it all comes out.
Yeah, because you're right. It is these younger parts. That's why I'm so passionate about inner child, inner teenage work, because that's the emotions.
Yeah.
It's stored emotions from these younger parts of you that were never able to feel. It gets suppressed and stuck in the body. And specifically, if you had a traumatic experience where you kept things a secret and and like were very scared and fearful, it's like that can still be living in your body. So even in my embodiment coaching program, what I do is I take people back to like a younger memory and have them feel where they're feeling that in their body and have them like express and release in that way, because it's always 9 times out of 10 a younger part of you that needs to feel. And that's what the healing journey is. It's diving into the young wounds, like something that I have people do, like my clients and the women and men that are part of the Beehive. I have an inner child and inner teenage workbook, and you map out each year of your life, like painful experiences that may have happened. So in this day to day, when you get triggered, you can think back to like, ooh, I remember feeling abandoned when I was younger. Like, and it's triggering like an abandonment wound. So like, how can I be there for that younger part of me and let them feel whatever they need to feel right now and reassure them that they're okay? But like releasing, does that make sense?
Yeah. And there's 2 things that's coming to mind to me. One, when a memory keeps coming back, because sometimes memories from your past will just pop up and they might be seemingly insignificant. They might be seemingly insignificant. Get curious about it, because that's your subconscious mind trying to deliver something to you.
And that's also your spirit guides and your guardian angels trying to aid you on your path to healing.
Yes.
I really feel that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
you're ready to process that memory if you decide to get curious about it.
Yes. So, a lot of people just dismiss those. Like, I don't know why I have this random memory. Like, that's something right there, even if it's seemingly insignificant, because trauma is not necessarily what happens to you, but your body's reaction to what happens to you. So even if, like I said, even if it's seemingly insignificant, it's getting curious. And another thing that's coming to mind is anger. There's so much stored anger in this world. This world is angry right now.
There's so much displaced anger because people have not allowed themselves to feel their own anger. So it's displaced anger.
Yes.
All over the world.
Yes. And like what's coming to mind is, I think that for women specifically, men as well, but women specifically, we confuse anger with sadness. Like, I know
it's easier to
me,
tap in.
It's easier to tap into sadness. Like, I know for me, I'm like, I just don't, like, I used to say, I just don't get angry. I just don't get angry. I just get sad. And on my journey, I realized like, oh, that was displaced. But we need to feel anger. So, healing is not only the crying and that sort of like emotional release, but giving yourself time and space in a safe container, because you don't want to project that anger onto anybody else.
Right.
But it's having a safe container where you give yourself the permission to express that anger, because I truly believe there's anger living, I don't know if I should say living inside of everybody, but living inside of everybody, even if it was like passed down, because
our ancestors are fucking angry.
Yeah.
It's like feeling anger. If you can't tap into your own anger, you can tap into collective anger, or the anger of all the people that came before you if they weren't able to express it. Because I think that's often, like women oftentimes are like, I don't feel angry, or like there's nothing I'm really angry about. But it's like there's also a blockage there too. And that's where it's like anger rituals are so incredibly powerful. Like I also learned that through my embodiment coaching program, like creating like a space where you really let your anger out, like setting a timer for 3 minutes, setting your intention of what you want to release, and fully allowing yourself to go there, playing like angry, a song that's really going to help you tap into your anger. There's such huge releases that come from that. I know in one of our healing circles, we did a sacred rage ritual. And I think we're going to probably do more of those, because they're so powerful, like full body chills when we were doing it. Like there's so much anger. And like specifically women's anger is so sacred because we like never felt safe to express it. So it's like, it's so sacred. It's such a release for us, for the woman and women that came before us, like all this suppression.
Yeah. And I feel like men, there's a lot of shame tied to anger.
Yes.
I feel like they feel ashamed if they get angry, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people just pin men as these monsters, and, you know, because it's this anger that's building up, and then all of a sudden it's they lash out, or, you know, and right now I'm generalizing, there's women as well, but men are, you know, statistically a lot more violent than women. And I think it's a part of the reason is because of the anger that's simmering above the surface until they pop off. Like men, their anger is also sacred and they need to feel it, but it needs to be expressed in a safe container. Also like witnessed, even like witnessed by women. I think like when a woman can witness men in their anger, there's something, and I have full body chills as I'm talking about this right now. Like I feel like there's something so sacred, something about like, it is okay to feel your anger. It is sacred. You need to release that from your body, because I think that's a big reason why these men have these violent outbursts. And, you know, this is getting really dramatic now. Like I'm going to take it really far, but like all like so like murderers and things like that, like statistically, you know, it's men primarily who do these things, women as well. I'm not just trying to stereotype here, but statistically, and I think, you know, men and women, we're different, equally as amazing and incredible. We're just different. And I think there's something like, yes, women's anger is sacred, and there's something with the divine like wrath of the feminine, same with the men though, in a different way. And suppression of anger is dangerous. I want to say especially in men, because look at the world, you know?
Yeah. Something I want to talk about too is it's a lot easier for men to tap into anger, but unable to tap into their sadness, because under their anger is typically a lot of sadness, and it's harder for them to tap into it. But I know for my husband, he's in a men's group and they do anger rituals together. They chop wood and they scream and they get angry. And that has been like, and they scream about what they're angry about. Something about vocalizing what you're angry about, getting it out, being witnessed. There is something really powerful about being witnessed. And then that's huge releases. And then another example, I talked to a man who runs a men's group too. And he said they do practices where the men yell at each other, but one man has to receive it while the other man screams. And it's making that other man feel what it feels like to be screamed at and hold his composure. And the other man get out whatever the fuck he needs to get out.
Oh, I like that.
So it's training for both of them, because the other man's getting it out while the other man is receiving and staying calm. So that is skill out in the real life world, when maybe if you're married and your wife's getting angry at you, you fucking hold your shit together. Let her hold that container for this woman or for your man if you're in whatever kind of relationship you're in, you know, but being able to hold that and not react, because so often we react when someone's angry. And I was like, that practice seems so powerful.
I have full body chills.
Because witnessing another man taking it, but then also screaming and letting it out, it just feels like men need so desperately to heal together. That anger, and women too. It's like being witnessed in community, and then us coming together as well and healing together, healing those mother wounds, those father wounds together. There's so much power in that, but it comes from feeling. You know, it's like feeling together,
and not feeling ashamed. Like going back to the shame, like I think like again, like a lot of men, like they do tap into anger easier. But there's a lot of shame that comes with it. And it's like it needs to be felt, it needs to be expressed. And I think that's so powerful.
I know,
like that exercise, I just have like full body chills as you're talking about it.
Training,
and like something else that's coming to mind, like I think that's powerful. Men healing together, women healing together, being witnessed. There's something also about like coming men together. And women coming together and being witnessed, because I would love to like watch a man express his anger and him feel safe to express his anger in front of me.
Right.
Not that he's projecting it onto me. That's different. But I want him to feel that and know that I'm still going to love you.
Yeah.
Despite any of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Because I think there is something about being witnessed in community, because shame dies when it's told, when it's shared in safe spaces. And for a man to yell and acknowledge shame's coming up for me right now, and being witnessed in that and being like, it's okay, it's allowed to be here. Your shame is actually allowed to be here too. You know, and like just holding, it's like needs, but this stuff needs to be done in safe, sacred containers where it's like held in that sort of way. Because I think, it just needs to be where everyone is like on the same page with that kind of stuff.
And like what's coming to mind too is like the need to be perfect. I think a lot of people just feel this like need to be perfect, to have it all together.
And that's even with the body too, your body to look a perfect type of way,
which
too.
Like prevents us from going there. It prevents us from expressing that anger. It prevents us from feeling that sadness. It prevents us from releasing all of these stored emotions that are stored in our body, which clogs the gutters, which prevents us from actually healing, because the healing happens through the body, And so many people are disconnected, disassociated, which, back to what we were talking about at the beginning, prevents us from really connecting with the essence of who we are, our soul.
Yeah. And I want to say two things are coming to mind. One real quick. So like, even when I was starting to express anger, like I create like rage rituals for myself. But when I first did it, I was really uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable. I was like, this feels like awkward to me, but it's like, I'm in my own home in this own space, like, and letting myself know I'm safe. Like, it's actually safe to feel this and like get it out. But like, if you're feeling resistance, it's oftentimes a younger part of you that doesn't want to look stupid or like be witnessed in their own emotion. Cause like oftentimes if you haven't felt emotions, it's going to feel uncomfortable to feel, you know? And I think that's often why we don't feel, is because it's uncomfortable to sit in those uncomfortable emotions. We would rather turn to food, which I work with a lot of women that struggle with their relationship with food. So replace food with alcohol, weed, drugs, work, social media, whatever it may be. It's like, cause it's uncomfortable to feel, but it's like learning how to self-soothe, talk to your inner child or your inner teenager, whatever part of you needs to come up, and let them know that it's safe to feel this and sit with them. It's like you have to learn how to sit with yourself without turning to a distractant, a dissociative, even spirituality, turning to like wanting your spirit guides or whatever, or turning to like the mystical. It's like, that's also another dissociative. So it's really like learning how to sit with, breathe through. Breathing is essential. Breathing is learning how to regulate your nervous system, creating the safety within your body. Most of us are living in fight or flight all of the time. Deep belly breathing is what is going to signal to your body, signal to your nervous system that you are safe. And then once you do that, it can be safe enough to feel.
Yeah, people forget to breathe. You said this to me, actually. Think about like smokers.
Yeah,
you know, they need to take a break to go smoke, right? What are they doing? They're stopping. Yes, they're getting the hit of whatever, but nicotine, they're breathing. They're also taking the time to breathe, and it's like taking those breaks to just go and you know substances aside, but like. And like sit there for like a minute, 2 minutes. Like it's not that much time, but it really can help really bring you down. And going back to what you were saying about, the spirituality and the, how it's another form of disassociation. It's tricky because people have these amazing, and I've been there, so I get it, these amazing mystical experiences where you feel the love of spirit, you feel that, and you don't want to come back to reality. You just want to feel more of that. So you're thinking, I am reaching enlightenment. I am reaching more love. I want to do more of these mystical journeys or whatever.
Because those are healing too.
Because they're healing too. But if you get too wrapped up in that and you don't root it, because I feel like it needs to start like from the ground up. It's like it starts from the body to really, because like it goes back to like the integration and all of this, and a lot of people, they have these mystical experiences but they don't integrate.
And I think the mystical experiences feel so good, and you don't want to leave that.
The love,
you don't want to leave that. And but that's the thing where it's like the most spiritual thing that you can do is have this human experience, because if you were meant to be in the spirit world, you wouldn't have chose to come down here.
Exactly.
You chose to come down here to be in this physical body. And I feel a lot of you that are listening are here to break those cycles, and it's to be in these bodies, to be in these physical bodies, to heal your relationship with your body, to see it as the sacred temple that it is, and learn how to feel and release
in a loving way while also enjoying this experience. And
absolutely.
And
it's balance.
It's a balance. It's a balance. But, you know, something I'm just kind of like coming to mind as well, it's sometimes when people, you know, get really spiritual or whatever, you know, there's taking care of the body, for example, like, oh, I can never drink alcohol because that's poison to my body, or I can never eat, you know, the cake because that's poison to my body. And it's remembering like, no, you don't want to abuse those things. You don't want to be gluttonous, not having shame though if you do, you know, because there's probably a reason why, so it's getting curious as to why. But it's, you're human, you are here to enjoy that, to enjoy the cake, to, if you know, have a drink with dinner if you want, you know, not saying you have to go drink or whatever, you know, whatever that is for you. But you know, we go through all these different phases in our life, and we're meant to experience the human experience, you know.
Yeah, I want to talk about this, dive into this, because it's tricky, because experiencing an eating disorder, as both of us did, having this like big obsession with food and exercise, there was this part of me when I was struggling in that sort of way of like, oh no, but I'm taking care of my body. I'm eating super healthy, or I'm working out, so like I'm taking care of my body, when really it was skewed because I was doing it from a place of hate for my body. Me too. Doing it from this place of hate. And now that I'm on my healing journey, this is still something I'm incredibly conscious of. It's finding that right balance between loving this body of mine and wanting to nourish it with wholesome foods because I love it. I want to give it the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals that it needs, that gives me energy, drinking water, taking care of it from a loving place, while then also allowing myself to enjoy pizza, cake, treats, whatever it is, with no guilt. But that also comes with a rewiring of the mind. That's a journey in and of itself.
It takes time.
And same with exercise, because it's like I used to like work out all the time, and I was like, oh, but like my body needs exercise. That was my excuse. But now it's like the best thing that I can do. My body has been like, I've been so tired recently. I've been needing a lot of rest. I'm having stuff with my digestion, and it's like the best thing for my body right now is rest, is walking. But if I was quote unquote needing to keep my body healthy, I'd be like, but I need to go to the gym. I need to be running. I need to be exercising. It's like, no, that would be the extreme. It's like learning the cues of your body, which comes from like healing that relationship with your body, being able to listen to it moment by moment and giving it what it needs instead of, you know what I mean? It's like, because I think yes, it's, we want to like have the human experience, be healthy, find that right balance, but like finding that balance is really fucking hard.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. And so if you're on that journey, it's hard, but
so have compassion for yourself. One thing that's really coming to mind that I really want to touch on, you know, at the beginning I talked about how, you know, this world is beautiful, and then you said this world's really hard. I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about that a little bit, because you're right. I want to acknowledge Earth is hard. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Earth it's not a walk in a park.
And I say it's hard because there's so much struggle right now. Like the people that I work with, the people that we encounter, and myself, you know, it's hard here. But it doesn't.
No, but I want to touch on the beauty a little bit, just because I feel really, okay, I'm going to try to articulate this as best I can. Yes, I want to acknowledge that this world is hard and we have to move through these difficult experiences, but this world is beautiful. Difficult experiences and all the difficult experiences are also beautiful. To have the ability to feel, have a clear vessel, because when you heal, then, because remember, our body is a gift. It's a vessel to experience this reality. So it's a beautiful thing. So when you clear the vessel, you can truly experience all of what you came here to experience, the light and the dark. But the dark is beautiful. It's a part of the experience you came here. And if you got blocked gutters, you're not fully going to experience the light or the dark because you're blocked. So it's like, yes, it's hard, but the hard part is also, it's beautiful.
That's where the most learning comes from, is the hard times, where it's like oftentimes when you're in the hard times, it's hard to see the light. But when you get to the other side, you're like, whoa, there was so much learning and so much beauty in that. We have to, that's how we learn and grow and evolve, is through the hard times. And Earth is beautiful. Like, it's Mother Earth is so beautiful. Looking to connect with like-minded community on your journey of self-growth, self-love, and spiritual discovery? Join the Beehive, a supportive community hosted by Holly and I, designed to help you on your personal transformation and healing journey, and to help you tap into your innate wisdom. With live monthly Q&A sessions, exclusive content, and a like-minded community, the Beehive is the perfect space to grow and step into your most authentic self. For more information and to sign up, check the link in the show notes. And something too that's coming to mind is like, heaven is a state of being. You can experience heaven here on earth. It's a state of being. It's that joy, bliss, presence. It's like when you feel and heal and all of that, it's like you're able to be present. So many people are constantly distracted by all the pain that they have gone through, like distracting so they don't have to feel it, like prolonging the pain. But when you feel, you can like really experience that presence, which is like the beauty in this world. And it's through the body, though. You know, going back to what we were saying at the beginning, like our body is such a gift. It's a gift. Our body is this amazing thing that taps into all of these, it expresses, it sees, it tastes, it touches. It's what is providing us this experience. So when you can really love your body, then you can truly experience this world. Yeah. And I just want to acknowledge, learning how to love your body is like such a journey. That's like, I've been on this journey for a while now, and I'm like and I feel like I'm on the other side, and I'm really able to like support people now, but it's a forever journey, and it's like, it takes a complete rewiring. It's a rewiring to learn how to let yourself feel your emotions. It's a rewiring to learn how to show yourself compassion. It's a rewiring to look at yourself in the mirror and love what you see, accept what you see. And to not judge, and to not like judge your body, not to base your worth on your appearance and all of that, because like your body is such a gift. It's like a sacred temple. And women specifically, our bodies are so incredibly powerful. We are portals. That is how we bring new life into this earth. You have the ability to like grow a child in your body. Like, they are sacred vessels. Without us, we wouldn't continue. These bodies are so powerful, but we can be so hard on ourselves, so judgmental. And something I want to touch on, which I want to do like a full episode on this as well, but like, women's pleasure is also so sacred. And that's another way that we need to like feel through our bodies, because so many women, myself included, I'm on this journey, and I'm really like coming back into my body and like really getting back into my pleasure. There was so much shame that came around pleasure, growing up Catholic, and also just like not really talking about sex. Like, sex has been like such a taboo topic to talk about. But I'm really realizing, when women are connected to their pleasure in a healthy way, that's the key, a healthy way. That is when we are in our power, when we are abundant, when we are creative. It's like and that's how we are in our bodies. And it's not using it in a manipulative way. No. Right. That's like that toxic. We'll do a whole episode on it, because I feel like the key point is in a healthy way. And I think that with sex and all of this, it's
really kind of skewed right now in a lot of ways. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of using it in a manipulative way. And I'm not blaming or anything like this. Like, it's just because of the society that we live in, right? Again, ego, protection, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people, like I know with me, sex, like you, was never talked about growing up very Catholic. You know, like, I mean, I was raped. I've talked about this before, and I kept it a secret for 10 years. I thought I was going to go to hell because that was the first time I had sex.
And think about that too, of like dissociating from your body, even like from that experience, you know, like so many women, if you have any painful experiences like that, and men, that's a form of dissociation, is like having to dissociate from the body, and like having so much shame around the body. You know?
Like I was numb. I was numb for 10 years. I kept it a secret, and I was afraid that like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, just with like, cause it was so taboo. I thought, you know, if you have sex before marriage, you're going to go to hell. And it was just, it's really hard to talk about and have these conversations. And I know that there's a lot of shame around it, and a lot of people are judged for it. Yeah.
And something I just feel called for you to touch on too is how you started processing through the body your rape, because it was through anger rituals. Right?
I have chills. I have chills, and it's making me emotional. Like, it's bringing me back to when I was in San Diego last year too. Psilocybin actually really was kind of like the start of like processing my rape. Like, and it was anger. It was before the even rage ritual that I attended. I attended one on a retreat that was so powerful, being witnessed in your rage. And that's what came out for me, was like the anger, and I'm getting emotional. But psilocybin really helped me. And I remember just like screaming and crying and like banging and just getting like so angry. And that's when I first really started processing and healing. It was through the body. I was numb to it before. I didn't know that it affected me because I went numb. I was like, oh, it didn't affect me. And I made it seem, I wanted it to go away. But that memory just kept coming back. It kept coming back for years.
That's your guides. You know how we talked about earlier, your guides will show you memories when that you're ready to process in that divine timing. And that's what we mean by like, it's the younger parts of you, because it's not Brittany now, you know, it's like that younger part of you that needed to feel her anger and rage for having to stay silent.
And another thing is, that younger part of me didn't even know what was taken from me, because I wasn't taught how sacred that is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's like a whole other like conversation, but like, I think that my body knew, my soul knew, but my mind didn't. And it went numb to it. And then it really started coming out through the mushrooms, through the rage ritual, through, you know, and then my journey, you know, it's a journey I'm still on.
And that's just like, and trusting that the right layer, it comes in layers, like healing comes in layers, releasing the emotions that have been stored in your body for years comes in layers. And that is the beautiful thing, the gift of plant medicine, as well as it does really help tap into your emotions. Like, they're plants, they're like such teachers, and they really help you feel again. Not saying you need to go out and do psilocybin, because I also feel like there is a light and dark of plant medicine that we're really going to dive into, because it can get really dangerous. And I don't want to be on here only talking about the light, because it's not all love and light with plant medicine either. But it has been a huge tool to support my journey, Brittany's journey, and I honor it and I respect it. But I also want to have a very balanced approach when it comes to plant medicine and not way too heavy on it, because I don't want anyone listening to think that you have to do it.
It's not your savior.
It's not a magic pill by any means, and it can be misused and it can be very dangerous. So
you are your own savior. I don't know why that's coming to mind. It's like, I think, you know, like you said, like people end up relying on these things. Nothing can save you other than yourself. They could be used as tools to help you yourself get there. But like you said, it's not necessarily for everyone, and that's okay.
And you know what I feel called to touch on is my first experience with ayahuasca really helped me feel safe in my body again. Because that's when I experienced pleasure. I was in pleasure for like 5 hours when I did ayahuasca for the first time, which is not normal, by the way. Like, that's when you do ayahuasca, don't feel like that's going to be your experience. Everyone's experience is so different. But that's what I needed, and it was helping me. Like, I've already been on this journey for so long, and I've come so far, and like I feel like that was like another gift of like, okay, let's take this to the next level and help you feel safe, even more safe in your body. And that's when it clicked for me. oh my gosh, pleasure is essential for being in the body, for women being connected to their pleasure with no shame. But with that is a journey.
Were you about to say creativity too?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's so important. There's something about like with creativity and sexuality, they're like,
oh, absolutely,
they're like this. I'm getting chills.
Each time you release sexual shame, you're unlocking more of like but you have to release it from your body, from the root. You know, so many women hold so much trauma, shame in the hips and in like the sacral. I feel or the root sacral, that area. Also something I just want to touch on too, specifically when it comes to women. So, you know, with our society, the societal norms, diet culture, it's a multi-million-dollar industry. It's thrown at you every which way, and just like this need to like look perfect, be perfect, all of that. We were talking about it last night because both of us have had to go on our own journey of really healing, and you know, we've gotten to these beautiful baselines and all of that. But we were talking about how it's so all-consuming for women. But when you start to heal and feel and release through the body and come more home to yourself, come more home to your heart, come more home to your soul, who you are, realize that you're a soul having a human experience and these bodies are your sacred vessels, and like really like let go of the need to constantly lose weight, the constant calorie counting, the over exercising, under exercising, restricting, whatever it may be, and really heal. Like the amount of mental capacity that comes back to you to actually do things in your life that feel good, like live your soul's purpose, is insurmountable. Like think of if all the women stopped placing all of their self-worth on their bodies and started loving themselves and coming back to their creativity. Like it's a radical, what's the word? It's an act of rebellion to learn how to love yourself.
It's an act of rebellion to be authentic. It's an act of rebellion to love yourself.
Because when you love yourself, you are not going to be a victim or like stuck in that prison anymore.
Because it's a prison. That's exactly what it is. When, like you said, when I was dealing with that, it was all consuming.
The blinders are on.
It was all I thought about.
Same.
Which didn't allow me to step outside of that prison to see my full potential.
Yes. So we need everyone coming back home to themselves, learning how to love themselves, compassion, coming back to their bodies, healing through the bodies, so we can reclaim our power, like reclaim the power and change the systems.
And something that and something that really helped me kind of shift that perspective, because again, like you, calorie counting, like all of these things, when I really kind of realized, because it's easy to say, oh, your body's a gift, It's like, no, listen, hear this. Your body is a gift. It's giving you this opportunity to experience this reality, and it's gonna go by like that. So when I started seeing my body in that way, as opposed to, oh, I need to look like this, I need this, it's like, oh my God, like this is the body that I chose. And this is the body that's giving me the ability to experience all of this. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. And that really helped me shift my perspective in a very profound way.
We're interrupting this episode to share something close to our hearts, our virtual healing circles. We have been loving them so much and meeting so many of you incredible people through them. Brittany and I are passionate about bringing people together to support one another and heal in community. We felt alone on our paths for so long, and coming together in community has been instrumental to our growth, and we've both seen the importance in it. We aren't meant to do this alone. In unity and vulnerability, we find strength, courage, and support each other on our paths back to ourselves. Our monthly virtual seminars blend discussions, workshops, and practices to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Whether seeking guidance, healing, or a listening ear, our gatherings offer a safe, inclusive space for people to connect, heal, and grow. Join us on this journey of healing in community. Together we can heal, grow, and thrive. Register for the next circle using the link in the show notes. We hope to see you there. Yeah, and something to go off of that too, that I know now, and like what really helps my clients too, is like learning that your body is always been trying to protect you. It's always been trying to protect you. Chronic illness, that's your body being like, hey, we need to feel. It's like suppressed, stored emotions in the body. Hey, let me catapult you into your healing journey if you so choose to listen. Your body is always trying to fight for you, always trying to protect you. If you struggle with binge eating, addiction, any sort of addiction of any sort, porn addiction, alcohol, drugs, food, social media, work, that is your body trying to protect you from feeling painful emotions, painful experiences, because something painful is coming up, let me divert and turn to this. Your body is like trying to protect you from feeling that uncomfortability, because like we said before, feeling your emotions is uncomfortable, but that's the
I feel like it's the mind. The body wants you to feel it. Does that make sense? But it's the mind that wants you to like not listen to what the body's trying to communicate with you. Because if it were just up to the body, if the mind was out of it, you would be feeling all of the things. Your body is trying to protect you, but it's like the mind, it's like back to the gutters, what I was saying at the beginning, when people are so disconnected from their body, the mind is in control. The mind is like the remote control in the video game. It's necessary. It's meant to navigate your avatar in the here and the now, but it's not meant to, plan the future or anything like that. And when we give all of this power to the mind, it's going to try to protect you from feeling uncomfortable from all of these things. But when you listen to the body, like illness and all of these things, because the body is trying to communicate with you, when you sit with the body, okay, like talk to me, and you are able to like kind of tell the mind to take a step back for a moment. It's like
letting yourself know that you're safe. It's like really needing to have that conversation and feel that safety.
Your body is your number one like best friend.
And when you can heal that relationship, you can listen to its innate wisdom. Our bodies are so freaking wise. They are so wise, and that's why it's like what the mind suppresses, the body expresses, because your body is so wise. And your gut instinct, you typically know when something's off before your mind does, because your body knows. Our bodies are so incredibly wise. They are magical beings. They can heal themselves if we give them the opportunity to heal themselves. Our bodies are so powerful, and we forget.
It's like our body is like the medium between, because like, when I do like my psychism and mediumship, for example, it's not my mind. The hardest part is to keep my mind out of the equation. My mind is what gets in the way and might skew the message. But when I'm able to take my mind out of it, it's the body that's able to blend with these spirits. Literally, it's like antennas tapping into different frequencies. It's my body that's doing that. My body that's doing that. When I could turn off the mind and let my body tune into these other frequencies, blend with these spirits, then they could deliver the message to the mind, when the mind is clear, and then I could verbally express the message that's coming through. But our body is like this medium that allows us to, experience this 3D world, but it's the medium between this 3D world and our soul that's bigger than us, which is why it is so important for this vessel, this medium, to be clear, because when it is, we can really experience this world, but also tune into all of the others. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The body is amazing.
The body is the most integral part to healing. And I really feel like if you're looking for a place to start too, it's like when you really learn how to heal your relationship with yourself, your body, you're healing your relationship with your body. It naturally follows because you're learning how to love yourself. You're starting that self-love healing journey. And when you do that, when you're on your healing journey, it's like tapping into these younger parts and allowing yourself to feel, it's like your relationship with yourself and your body is so deeply connected, and like being compassionate with yourself, trusting yourself, reaching out, getting the support that you need, going to like a type of therapy, or working with, a somatic therapist, a coach, or going and seeking out like people that administer plant medicine that are actually like
in integrity
with the work, which we'll go all into that too. But it's like showing yourself so much compassion and grace during this time. And like each time you feel, you are healing. And it is such a courageous act to feel. It is such a strength to feel. It is not a weakness. If you're sensitive, if you feel a lot of emotions and you've cut yourself off from that, like I really did, you'll realize on your healing journey, that's your superpower. That's your gift. It's a gift to feel. We came here to feel. We weren't meant to stunt the feelings. We're here to really feel all of the emotions. So really rewiring and learning how to feel instead of distracting and dissociating that I feel like that's really like the journey.
Clearing out the gutters. I just keep getting the vision of the gutters.
Yes.
Our body clearing those out. How are you feeling? I feel like we hit on a lot of points there.
I feel I got quite passionate. I think I cussed a couple times in here, so I'm sorry for that. But I feel like we touched on a lot, and like if some of you don't resonate with what we're saying, that's totally fine. Like I'm like on this journey of really coming back into my body these past 2 years, and I'm really understanding the importance of the body. And so like this is just fresh, what I'm feeling, what I'm learning, what I feel to be truth, and what I just feel really called to talk about right now.
Same. Like just through experience and what has really like worked for me, what I have seen has worked for other people. So trust yourself too. Like, what is your body telling you? Are you resonating with it? Are you not resonating with it? Or maybe you're not sure, and that's okay as well. But that's something that we always like to talk about is trust yourself.
Trust yourself, how you feel, and trust that your body's always trying to communicate with you. Your body's always trying to communicate with you. If you feel like something's off, like even out in the world, trust that. Also, if you're dealing with any sort of pain, there's a message in there. So how can you sit with that pain and like ask, what are you trying to communicate with me? Your body is always trying to communicate with you, always trying to keep you safe, always on the same team as you. So it's always working for you, always working for you, even when it kind of feels like sometimes it's working against you.
Yes, because that's another, like, I know we're running over an hour here, but it's really quick. It's like when you have these like injuries or when you get sick, I feel like that's another thing. People get angry at their body, and they can like again make it feel like your body's working against you. But when you're able to kind of try to switch that perspective and get curious, okay, why are we going through this? Like, why is this happening? What are you trying to tell me? As opposed to, I just want to be healthy, I just want to get over this, I just want to, it's your best, it's like your best friend at the end of the day. It's working for you always at the end of the day, even if you might not understand why, because I do want to acknowledge, like, yes, some people do really deal with a lot of like physical issues with their body, and I don't want to take away from that. But I think it's really having that compassion, and you can't, regardless of what it is, you can't hate yourself into healing, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. You can't hate yourself into healing. You have to love yourself into healing. Going back to that workout example you used before, like I was the same way, like forcing myself to go to the gym because I was like, oh, if you really loved yourself, Brittany, you would go to the gym, you'd work out hard. But really it was coming from a place of hate because I felt like I needed to look a certain way. And you can't hate yourself into healing.
You have to be really honest with yourself too, really honest with that negative voice, because it can sometimes come in as it's from a positive place when really it's like coming from a darker place. But something, that's a huge thing. You can't hate or shame yourself into change. It has to be done through compassion, understanding, non-judgment, that so it can be healthy, so it can really be a healthy relationship.
Oh
that was fun. I loved
good.
that. I loved this episode. Let us know what you guys think. If you have anything you want to add, like, would love to hear from you guys too.
Well, okay, love you guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Have a good day. As we wrap up today's episode, we want to extend our deepest gratitude for joining us on this journey. Your support does not go unnoticed. If you enjoyed this episode and find value in our conversations, please take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback not only helps us grow, but also allows us to reach more people who can benefit from our community of healing and support. Every review, every rating makes a difference. Thank you for being a part of the Multiple Truths podcast family. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Multiple Truths podcast. Keep speaking your truth and spreading your light. We love you, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.